R&B money. We up. Tank. J Valentine. We are the authorities on all things R&B.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
Ooh, and this is the R&B Money Podcast.
Come on.
The authority.
They've been waiting on this one.
On all things.
Yeah.
R&B.
Come on with it.
I've seen the cries of the people.
Yeah. The customers.
The customers.
Yeah.
They wanted to see him.
Yeah. You, and you.
Him who sings about a woman.
Huh? The mixtape man himself.
Him who loves you more. You don't know who loves you more. Guess who loves you more?
Tell him.
My whole town round. Give it up for Raheem DeVaughn in the building. Yeah.
What up?
Oh, this one's special, bro.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
This one's special, bro. Like, you know, being from the soil, bro, and what we come from, who we come from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be able to have this conversation so many years later and this conversation still matter is big, bro.
Yeah.
It's big.
I often say, man, you know, when we doing interviews and still hitting radio stations or just, you know, doing blogs, podcasts, things of that nature, to just have, you know, it's you look up 20 years later, 15 years later, 18 years, and you're like, man, all right, my name's still in the conversation. You're still in the conversation, you know? Top 10, top whatever.
Yep.
You know, I think that's the greatest gift, you know, the gift of longevity, you know, and mastering that. And sometimes we could get so convoluted and focus on other things as artists or feel the pressure of social media and keeping, and, you know, or looking at what the next person is doing. That, you know, we sometimes we don't celebrate even our smallest wins, you know. You know what I mean? Or what somebody else might measure as something that's not such a big win. For me, around here, we celebrate all the wins.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Here I am, R&B Money Podcast.
Yeah.
You know?
I also think, bro, you've even in you saying, like, you know, keeping those blinders on and focusing on what you do.
Yeah.
You've been doing what you do consistently.
Thank you.
And everything you've added to that, every ancillary piece that you've added to that, from foundations, your philanthropy, all that is on brand with who you are.
Yeah. And
it's not just artistry, it's you, the human being, that has transcended time. Which is, man, that's harder to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's easy to focus on one thing. I'm just going to try to nail these records. But now you're existing in so many other spaces, and all of it feeds each other.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? And that's a congratulations to you, bro.
Thank
Because
you.
you do all of it, and you do it well.
Thank you.
My brother. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
Give me I've always wanted to ask you this. Where does DeVaughn come from?
You know, I mean, of course, you know.
Where you get that from?
It's the background of slavery, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I trace my roots back to being half Cameroonian and Guinea-Bissau and the Tikar-Balanta tribes. You know, I think
Hold on. Say that again.
Yeah,
because we don't.
Yeah, so AfricanAncestry.com. You know, and this some years ago. I did the DNA swabbing to figure out, you know, where I'm from.
Yeah.
You know, so technically I'm West African.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, shout out to all my Cameroonian family and, you know, the Tikar and Balanta tribes, Guinea-Bissau, you know, which is, you know, both are considered, you know, west the coast. One is right on the coast of West Africa, and I believe the other is Cameroon is on the other side of Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. So so that's where I realized that where my people come from on my mother's and my father's side. A lot of the DeVaughns are like, you know, my dad was the youngest of 12, based out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
You know, and then my mom's side of the family was down from like Florence, the Carolinas and Florence. And so I think we still kind of figuring it out. I think definitely the West Indies or the islands, like you know, Jamaica, the Caribbean islands. definitely, I think, with the DeVaughns, I've rooted from. A lot of people think that William DeVaughn is my dad. And we haven't, when in actuality, we haven't been able to figure out any relation to the William DeVaughn. So William DeVaughn, what's Diamond in the back, Sun Rooftop?
Oh, yeah.
William DeVaughn. Like,
what's the name of the group?
Yeah, he was in a group as well.
Yes, yeah.
I think from what I told, I think he lives in the DMV, like he's in Virginia or in that area. Yeah. So, but a lot of people have thought throughout my career like that was my dad. My dad was a child prodigy cellist who was heavily known in the classical.
Oh, you come from the music,
classical world of He's a string arranger, composer, like crazy with
That's
it.
why you're so musical.
The artist Abdul Wadud. He's known as Abdul Wadud.
Yeah,
you know? He has a lot of students that will reach out, and I'll be somewhere and they pop up like, yeah, I'm such and such. I play the cello. I play with this orchestra, and your dad taught me how to play.
Crazy.
So man,
So listen, since we going to the beginning and the origin, the bloodline, how early did this start for you? Where did you just come out the womb with?
I'll be honest with you. So growing up, dad wasn't in my household, but he was in my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I technically come from what would be a single parent household. My mom, between my mom and my grandmother who raised me, but I would spend summers with my dad, like so I'd be back and forth from like DC to Jersey, whether that was East Orange or Newark, New Jersey, Baxter Terrace projects, the colonnades, just all kind of like landmarks.
Moving around.
Yeah, places, so I'd spend summers with my dad, going to gigs, I wake up to him, hearing him practice the cello.
That's
that whole
crazy.
type of vibe. Yeah. He was, I didn't know I'd be doing music. If I knew what I know now, I would have learned every instrument I had. I had, but I was very like, no, I don't want to, I just want to go outside and play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So even me being a father now, with my boys, different periods of their life, things they may pick up, they want to do. I learned to just let them. You figure out what your child likes to do and what they like to gravitate to, and then you support it.
You just feed the desires.
Yeah, you feed. Absolutely. Fast forwarding to like when I became this figure, Raheem DeVaughn. Like up until the time he passed, like it was great to be able to have conversations with him. At least to be definitely have that support system for both parents, but to have somebody that you can talk about, like have conversations about publishing,
because he knows the intricacies.
He knows the intricacies of it. You know what I mean? Like for him to be able to come to a show and be like, you might need to get a new bass player. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or just like these things that you can just relate to. Or I could vent and have a conversation, So it wasn't until later on in my career, discovering and figure out what it is that I wanted to do, that I realized the importance or the support that I had there, from fellow musician to musician, and even like now I'm finding out, because for me it was just like dad, he was very humble, for a long period of time he retired. I feel comfortable talking about it now, but my dad dealt with mental health most of his adult life, schizophrenia, which is something that the family we were highly supportive of. You had to get, even now, like now with the conversations of mental health and how important it is, like now, back then. Even a decade ago, like you know what I mean, like
So was that ultimately why you decided to get into that space?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Because that was something that I was carrying, say, from from high school, 12th grade on. When I first started to notice that there was something there, or trying to kind of figure it out. But it wasn't until later on in my adult life where we're like, like my sister, my cousins, my aunt, they like really broke down to me like what was going on, where I was able to connect the dots to say, oh, okay, 10 years ago, that's why this was happening. Or, you know what I mean? So So yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons why mental health is a initiative for me with the foundation. You know, it's an old saying, you know, never call anybody crazy because you don't know what they've been through.
Yeah,
That's real.
You know what
That's
I
real.
mean? So, you know, it definitely, I've definitely been one of those people to not turn a blind eye to, you know, the person that you might see just as having the conversation with themselves, or you know,
I stop and listen.
like
I put an ear to
yeah,
it.
like altered
Yeah.
reality. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
you know, mental health is like a really, it's a real thing. Whether you're talking about from a space of depression, anxiety,
Yep.
bipolar, you know, whatever the case, you know, schizophrenia. You know what I mean? I think that that's something. And recently being at the White House, right, on a panel for it. One of the things we just kind of we were just chopping it up. It's like, you know, for us in the Black community, we're often taught, or that's something that where they feel like, oh, we'll just pray it off of you. You know what I mean? Like, it you know, in some cases it may be something requires, you know, therapy, medication, daily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To just get a grip on it, and yeah, so. I think it's one of the things or the taboos that a lot of times that we, you know, in the past have turned a blind eye to, especially in our community.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm glad that the conversations are happening and I could be part of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we commend you on that,
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
sure.
really, really.
For sure.
And being able to have that conversation with Pops, like that musical,
Oh,
in
man.
depth. Like my father, like I love my father, but he's he don't know nothing about music.
Yeah.
He's all Air Force, right?
Uh-huh.
So he walks up to me one day, but now we talk more. As a kid growing up,
Yeah.
we had no conversations.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a grown ass man, you a little ass kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We don't really have much to talk about, right? But once I assumed responsibility of myself, and
Yeah.
he saw me as a man, like our communication just went through the roof. And he came to me one day and said, So how your publishing's doing? They doing all right? Are
publishers.
they making it? Are they making it through? Are they? I just say, you know what? Yes, Dad. My publishing's
It's
Yeah.
kind of like he might have heard Pipeline before too, so he
That's-
said,
that's
"Are they
it.
making it through?"
He thought publishers was a person or some people in a room that was doing some cool shit, and
My
he
guy
just wanted to know
Slick.
how they was.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, they good. They real good.
Yeah.
So when did you actually start singing? When did that start for you?
I was told I always had a voice, like even young. Like there are moments I remember, like first grade, Calverton Elementary music teacher, can't remember the name, and her saying like me going up the scale and her saying like, you're gonna do something amazing one day.
Ooh.
And okay, didn't really know that. I mean, I didn't really until I graduated from High Point. You
graduated from High
Yeah,
Point?
PG County. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good game against y'all.
Yeah.
Had a good game.
I wasn't the athlete that you were.
176 yards.
Oh, here he
I
go.
was an
touchdowns.
athlete
Here
though.
go Al
like, you know?
Bundy. You didn't
Why
start Al
gotta
Bundy.
be Al Bundy?
That's like when I be telling my son about my dunk contest win. I don't believe it.
That was on tape too.
Mine
I
on
was
tape,
on TV at the house. You know we be on TV. I was on TV.
I was a distance runner. So I ran
you ran track?
Yeah, I did track and field,
Oh, nice.
distance runner, cross country. Was pretty good at it.
You really are African.
I'm about to say
I'm
you
really African, my
really
brother.
him.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm really him, my brother.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah.
They was like, oh, he just that's just bruh from down the block. Nah.
So I've always understood the concept of the marathon and the pace.
Come on,
Yeah.
correlate the shit,
Yeah,
boy.
you know what
Put
you
it
know what I mean?
together, young man.
It's never been about a sprint for me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So even in that space, I acquired a athletic scholarship with Coppin State, got redshirted for SATs, and never really and literally the first day on campus ran into some guys singing, and we decided we were gonna be a group, and we skipping class, we
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
all the things besides, we enjoying the college experience, being
Yeah.
away from home,
Yeah.
figuring it out. The original plan was to go into criminal justice or law enforcement, and do my 4 years or and you know what they say, you want to make God laugh, make your own plans, right? And I didn't last 3 semesters. I dropped out. You know, of course, my mother was like, "What are you doing,
brother? After my own heart.
You can't come back here."
You lasted almost one.
Yeah, I was like a month and a half.
Yeah.
You lasted 3 semesters.
Dad kind of got it, but I think he really wanted me to finish as well. And then from there, man, I just kind of just like started figuring it out. You know, infiltrated Chucky Thompson's camp at the time. This is Chucky has Chuck Life. He's back in DC. He has artists like Frankie and the Power of Three, my man Daoud and Qasim and those guys. Guru is at the time, young Guru is going to Howard and working with and like DJing for like Tracy Lee and working with Nonchalant. Nonchalant is like popping at this time. Yeah. And I'm like connecting the dots from like reading the album credits and like I'm just trying to try to figure out how I'm gonna
But you don't know any of them personally.
No, I don't know any of them personally yet. And by pure chance, I'm hanging out on HU's campus. I'm in the Howard area. And it used to be this spot to just like I go hang out with. I didn't go to school there. I'm just like kind of hanging out.
Are you still at Coppin State or you gone now?
At this
you
point,
back home?
At this point, I'm gone. I'm back home.
Okay.
And so you know I'm doing like odd jobs here and there, things like that.
Give us one job.
Oh man, I've been working since I was 15, 16 because when I came back there was a period where I lived with my dad. Like where, like, hey, you got to go live with your dad.
Yeah.
Like it's just and I got into some heavy trouble in Jersey, which landed me back in with my mom. So we're talking like 9th grade, 10th grade, transitioning, summer school, that type of thing. So I got a job when I came back to Maryland. So I worked my first job was Giant Food.
Come on, Giant.
Yeah, so Giant
Food. So that's like a grocery store?
Yeah, grocery store, parcel pickup. You know what I mean? Then, you learn to register. But as far as jobs, man, I had Giant Food, Chevy Chase Bank, telemarketing, Long Fence. I hated that job.
What is Long Fence?
Like
What's
Long
that?
Fence, literally. So you literally get dropped off. Like they would basically put you. You jump in the van, you go to the office. They say, okay, we're going to take you in this neighborhood, and just basically you go knock on strangers' doors. You're getting chased by dogs. You get people. Who is it?
Are you selling fences?
You're trying to sell people fences, doors, windows.
So people can't knock on your door anymore.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't want me coming back knocking on the door, let me sell you a fence.
Point.
Man,
listen, I wouldn't be here if you had one of these.
Foot Action, that was a great job.
Listen,
Plaza.
you from the house, so that's definitely a great job.
Foot Action is great because you're gonna meet some cougars. You're gonna,
and you're gonna stay fly.
And you're gonna be fly.
We're gonna be fly. My last job probably was my dopest was Tower Records. The last job I had before I went full-time musician. I couldn't say I would have wrote the script any better than that because I learned a lot about music, the consumers, who buys, how they buy. I learned a lot about music. I was just around music the entire time, so that was cool, I went from the register to LP, loss prevention.
You was catching niggas stealing?
Catching niggas stealing, bro.
Did you chase anybody?
What? The first day. Man, I tell you this, man.
We got to get the tape on that.
It be the people you think that you think are the thieves or not. My first person I grabbed and like chased down was a professor at like GW.
What?
Yeah, he was
stuffing records.
He was stealing some gay porn. I guess he didn't feel comfortable going to the
and buying
and playing porn, so he would come in. So his thing was he would come in there with a newspaper, right, under his arm, and he'd window shop, and when we talking DVDs,
for sure,
right, and he would just put the DVD in between the newspaper and just walk out. So my first day. I'm like, oh,
got one.
Oh man, that was exciting, man. Like that job was like.
Did you have to like chase? Did you run?
I didn't realize the danger. Yeah, he tried to run. I had to chase him. Like, put hands on him. Come on, we coming back. Come on, please don't do
And then
this.
the
Like,
newspaper opens.
so
That is a boy.
so Tower had a policy that like if it was over $50, that you call those people, you got to go.
Yeah.
You go. They come pick you up. You know, you go through the whole process, right? You go into 4D, 3D, whatever, right? So it just so happened that what he had taken, and when they did the tax on it, it came up to little like $49.99.
No way.
You had to let him go.
So we had to so you do a paperwork, you take a picture.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
put so now your
Try to
picture.
ban
You,
all
now
your
You
your-
can't
now
come
your
around here
pictures
no
on the-
more.
your
You can't
pictures
come
are-
around here no more, Professor.
You can't come. Yeah, you can't come around here no more, Professor. And
Wow.
so that was my last job, man. Tower Records, you know. In between that again, just like moving around. I would hang out with these girls that went to Howard, and they put me on it. That's like 95. And the reason I remember it, music timeline wise, Badu's album had dropped, and that was like the Bible for like. They playing space. They got the weed burning. It's just the vibe. So we would just go there to just kind of like hang out. And those group of individuals who I'm still friends with some to this day, Remy and I met artists like Wes Felton, who we now are, we've put out various projects together under the group name Crossroads. Bar None. Open mics was happening around that time, so U Street, so I'd go there, work on my craft. In fact, I think that's how we kind of got cool. I go by the house, and they ended those sisters from the house. They ended up like interning for Chucky, Chucky Thompson.
Yeah.
So then that became like one day somebody just like randomly, I can't even remember who, like, yo, come over. Chucky had the studio on in Southeast on Pennsylvania Avenue, right down at Easter Market area. And I just kind of would just like go, and then like I never left. I'd go, I'd sleep on the couch. Man, and at some point, if you know Chuck, he was like, "Hey Mo, what you do, Mo?" So I was, my thing was songwriting, and he had a few groups that I started to write for. Took a couple of trips. First time I ever met Mary, her mother. Sitting in on Faith Evans, Faith Evans sessions.
Yeah, because Chucky was working on everybody.
Oh man, Chucky was like
killer.
he was
him.
to me. He was like he was the R&B, like he was the guy. He was like the producer guy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, so it's like, this is the guy. Like, he's right here in the city, and now I got that connection. I can sit here and just like learn. Like leaving, I ain't leaving. I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna sleep.
And when you get
if I
back
hear do
here,
something,
and
I'm
when
gonna
you
get
leave,
up.
I'll
I'm
be
gonna,
right
yeah, I'm
here.
gonna be like, you know what I mean. So, yeah, man, that became like my, I think between those things, doing Bar None, Monday nights became like the Bible for me. Doing Warm Wednesday open mics in Baltimore, and then Black Lilies in Philly. So I would just rotate and hit that circuit. So after a while, people thought I was from Baltimore. Because I was in Baltimore at least like once a week.
Yeah.
I was in Philly at least once a month, a few times a month. And it was my ties to Bar None on Monday night. Underground producer by the name of Kev Brown, who approached me with the indie artist Cy Young and said, "Hey, you know who DJ Jazzy Jeff is?" I'm like, "Yeah." Again, because I'm reading the credits.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, yeah, we've been working on an album with him up in Philly, and we just want to take you to meet him. We think he would really really like to get to know you." So they take me up, and I go up and I meet Jeff, and it's like jackpot, because this is at the time when like the whole Touch of Jazz movement has already been moving though. Like, this is like Jill's already out, platinum selling artist. I want to say like, yeah, like I think Music is out is already out at this point. Of course, Badu, me being a huge Roots fan, this is it. And I had never been in an environment where you go into a building and it's like 7, 8, 10 studios going at the same time.
Yeah.
You can go. First time I ever met Eric Roberson. was in this environment.
You saying them names.
Or
He's a
Jill.
American monster.
You got Carvin and Ivan in one room.
Yeah.
You got
man.
Vidal and Dre in
Yes.
another room. You got oh my God, like this was like R&B, neo soul, hip hop,
Heaven.
Everything. Yeah.
heaven. And I didn't leave.
In one building. Once again,
That's what-
I
Let
didn't
me go ahead and
leave.
Not gonna leave.
Let me go ahead and I got me a toothbrush.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got me some wet wipes.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, but I'm, same clothes. I'm 10 toes down. I'm, back and forth. At this time I have an indie group that I'm part of called Urban App 31. We're doing the college circuit. So I'm making enough money to, to perform as an independent artist, but I never had that desire to stop pursuing to be a soul and R&B artist, and I always kind of just like straddled the line. Like I feel like I was just as much of an R&B singer as a soul artist, you know what I mean? I just had this appreciation for different genres of music, and being with Jeff just intensified it because, touring and going overseas, eventually meeting Kenny Dope and Louis Vega, who are like incredible DJs, masters at work. DJ Terry Hunter, who actually produced You. It just, that period of my life, I'm so thankful for it as a songwriter and as a musician, as an entertainer, because I got a chance to see the world. Me and VA Skills, Mass Skills, hosted Jeff's like parties. Like he would I remember him taking us to Spain. The first time we in Spain, we're on the beach. It's like MTV taping, and he's DJing, and like me and Skills are like the I guess you could say that the MCs, the master of ceremonies for the, so there'd be things I kind of like follow with I'd be like, in all honesty, like, I always had a natural thing for the stage, but I was like following Skills, lead in a lot of spaces, and then Jeff would give me a moment.
Yeah, he was learning.
I was learning while in the process.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I like just thankful for those connections. So many great relationships, like brotherhood, sisterhoods, and music has come from those connections. When I back from like linking with Chucky, back from linking with Jazzy Jeff, those are definitely like my OGs. Me and Kenny Dope was like a big brother to me. I wouldn't know Kenny if it wasn't for Jeff.
It's all legends.
Yeah, man, and they just
yeah.
legends, man. It's just like So I've always been able to thrive in other genres or be part of things that unconventional things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So was your main thing at Touch of Jazz was to be a writer for the stuff that they were working on?
It was writing. It was writing, definitely. I was just kind of just going with the flow. It was definitely writing because like
you weren't signed as an artist.
no, I wasn't signed. I was
Okay.
and at the time I still was going back to DC because I also was at this point I was being managed by Juke, by Jerry and Cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How did you meet Jerry and Cliff?
I met Cliff and Jerry. I want to say, did I meet? I met Bob and Kurt first.
Got it.
I'm trying to remember how I think we maybe met at maybe like Night Flight. It could have been like Night Flight. I'm trying to remember the whole how I actually met Kurt and Bob, but it was Kurt and Bob that like took me under they like oh yeah, we gotta get him to the backwoods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is like this is like they got the pub deal. You know what I mean? They've been working with G. I'm seeing like you got your motion going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I'm just kind of just like, and I would just like meet Kurt like at like random places. Like Kurt would be like, I was living like in Laurel at the time, and he would be like, "Yo, meet me at Capitol Heights station." So I'm like taking the bus to the train. I'll get you back, but you gotta get there. Kind of trying to test me, see like how bad I want it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I'd get there, right? And they would just it was just cool because it was an environment where one, I ain't had to pay for studio time. I was gonna learn something, and I think they were early impressed by the way I worked because of the fact that like I didn't write anything down. So the process is just like I would just go in and listen and then go in the booth and then just start to create this storyline or whatever. And then we'd knock one out and then be like, hey, can we do another one?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And they'd be like, hey, can we do another one? and it might be like, it might so some days it might be 2 or 3, 4. So we crash out and wake up and get back to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just it was they provided a space that was just like where I could just like shed and learn and grow. And it wasn't too many times that like they would shoot an idea down and be like, oh, that's whack.
They would just let you rock out.
They would just let me rock out, man.
They shot a lot of my ideas down. Hey, it's like, yeah, that track whack. So you got to work on your drums.
And I
whatever.
And I think it was probably
Well, you had what you had done is you had been to a different kind of school already.
Yeah.
That I hadn't been to.
Yeah.
When I got with Cliff and Jerry.
Yeah.
I was literally fresh out of church.
Nah, man, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in terms of like, my R&B production
yeah.
and figuring out even my identity in an R&B space, I had none.
Completely different sound.
Completely different.
And I'd say this, like, be like that environment versus like a Jazzy Jeff environment is like night and day. And you would and back then there was already a division that had kind of been created in black music where it was like, okay, either you R&B or you neo soul.
Yeah.
And my thing was like, why can't I'm both?
You want to
like why can't
both.
you be why can't you be both? So you got this so there was always this very R&B backpack I guess
R&B backpack.
There was this very I had this very R&B one side is very jiggy vibe, and then there's a very conscious vibe to me too.
Yeah.
You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? Like you might catch me with some stones on one day, and then you might see me with some diamonds on the next day.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if that it's just really about the vibe of what what I'm on.
Just
that
being
day,
creative.
Right? Yeah. But so musically again, to be in those two different environments, like simultaneously, like kick it, be in the studio with Kurt and Bob for 2 or 3 days, and then jump on a train and then be up in Philly with Jeff and them for a week.
Yeah.
Like
He was dabbling in
it just
and
the thing with the Jeff, with the environment with like Jeff being as though that he's a DJ, and the peers and a lot of his peers that he put me onto are DJs. I started to learn about different like tempos and just music beyond just the things that I love.
The DJ is
different.
so important in music. And it's funny because people, when you talk about it, it's like, oh yeah, but I still don't feel as if the DJ gets the respect that they deserve. I mean, ultimately they're
DJs in our space.
Yeah.
Because in other spaces they get it.
They get it. Yeah. But they're the producers.
Yeah.
Because they hear so much music and they hear so many transitions and they know what match and what sound right on the radio and what goes into this record.
Before the politics of, everything getting incorporated out, including, radio and terrestrial radio and things, like DJs that, they set the tone for the culture. Like they dictate, even if it's to bring it back, to bring that good feeling back, right? Or to say, hey, this is the BPM that matters right now, the ones that break the records and just all of that, So just being in those two environments was just like, it was dope, man, and really important, but I still didn't, going and working, it just wasn't enough. So one day I cornered Cliff and Jerry. I think I cornered Jerry at like Omega Studios in Rockville, Maryland, and I'm like, I'm still kind of in between odd jobs. I just know it's something more, and I know that they the plug. You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, I wanna do music for, like, I want y'all to manage me. Like, I want you to manage me. And he was like, I kind of, I think he was, can't remember how the conversation went, or like, let me think about it, whatever. and then I just jumped out and I was like, and if there's any opportunities to sing background for Ginuwine, I want to do that too. Or whatever. Like I was feeling ballsy that day.
Yeah.
And then I got the call. And let's say it was on a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, and I think I kind of been, you know, I went around, I met G, I had met G, known G at this point, you know, and you know, and G and Jerry used the introduction as a means to say like, hey, this the kid I've been telling you about. He may be interested, you know, we may bring him on to do some work. Boom, boom. So then I get the call. They had a show like in Baltimore, and it was like a Tuesday. It was like, yo, so there's a show tomorrow night. It's gonna be there. You want to sing background? It's your opportunity. Like, so I'm like, is there a rehearsal? It's like, nah. What I need to learn, all 3 albums.
All 3.
Now I was already a fan.
You knew the music, though.
Yeah, I already knew. I knew the music, though.
Okay.
I knew
Easy. That was
the
easy.
music.
Yeah.
I'm I'm looking at the who did what, Static. I'm like trying to figure out who gonna be. You know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it all out, right? So I pull up. I pull up to the show. You know, they got the hen dog flying. It's like
the hen dog.
they tell me, you know, the hen dog gonna be
It's
fly.
flowing
You know what I'm
and
saying?
flying.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, so that was my
Was Rick and Red there with you?
Rick and Red were there.
Yeah.
This was my audition.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, shout out to Rick and
a
Red, man.
whole live
Those are our guys.
concert.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Get in.
And then you know, after we were done, I remember coming in and G was like, you was nervous, you was scared. Ah.
That sounds
And then
just like G.
he was like, nah, you did good though. He was like, man, he was like, all right, man, you in. Or whatever. And then, you know, and that was my introduction to the music business.
Was singing
and
background
touring
for G.
Was singing background
Come on,
for
my
G.
Come on, my
Damn, I feel left out. I'm the only one on the podcast
listen.
and they sang background for G.
And I'd already known the history, so I already know, you know, like, you know, you had already went through the machine of that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh man, I want that. I said, so in my mind, I'm like, yo, if he could do it, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, you know what I mean? And man, I learned a lot. I had a lot of fun. And this is G like in his prime. This is like before we go on tour with like Janet Jackson and NSYNC and just like all the things, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, that experience, man, and you know, and to go on the record and say that like G is one of the greatest entertainers, man.
Absolutely.
All time.
That like if you're talking about roses,
Yes, sir.
in terms of stage performance and being on and just like, you know, like I had a front row seat and definitely I think a combination of that, of course, our ties to home as it relates to the go-go community and just and knowing the energy of the room when go-go's happen, and how high the bar is set for the entertainment aspect, the exchange of energy that, like, you know, from artist to music lover and back and forth. Like I've been able to pull from that and put it into what I do. You know, like, you know, the artistry of being on stage and performing. You know?
How long were you on the road with G?
Man, I think what he did. I was on the road with G at least for like, I want to say maybe 2 years. Like, you know, off and on. You know, talking about touring, spot date stuff. And then I remember doing a tour, and there was another young brother that came in to do background singing, and he came in and he was the new guy. So he was like the rookie. And I remember kind of taking him in under the wing. And he kind of like falling my hands, you know what I mean? And then I remember seeing like the process of like where you can be out there and this shit could change you too. You know what I mean? And I also quickly learned that, like, you know, being in a position like that, you're gonna have people that like really depend on you, right? And I had to make a decision to say whether or not, you know, is this something that I want to do permanently? Is it something that I want to do for 3 years? Is it something that I want to like not do and pursue, like figure out my thing? And I just remember being on that particular tour and just having the epiphany that like, yo, this gonna be my last, this gonna be my last tour. Like,
Yeah.
like I want to, like, it's time to,
Because they had to push him out.
Yeah, you're better than me.
Tank
He was
No,
never
I was
leaving.
gonna sing backgrounds forever.
And and then there was some stuff that happened, you know what I'm saying? Where it was just like, yo, like, yeah, I ain't trying to do this no more. And it wasn't it wasn't because of G, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was just like, yeah, this ain't. I want to see what the other side of this feel like too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that ain't no disrespect to nobody that stays because, just jumping off of this tour with Lettucey, right? You realize, and I'm sure you can relate to this, that whether it's the band or the light man or the MD or like man, we can't do this shit without ourselves. I mean, we can't do this shit without other people.
Yeah, of course.
Being involved. You know what I mean? It's no I in the word.
No, it takes a village.
Team.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So to have, there's people in my circle that I look up that's like, been around a decade, longer, whatever. They see me go through management. They see me go through these different business transitions, and they're still here. And I'm like, man, this is crazy to see you dedicate your life to me in this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like
real.
that level of commitment. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And again, so I think the time for the period of time that I was out there with G, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
Like I'm so thankful for it to that shit. It ain't. I can hear. I could be in. I can be anywhere. And boom doom doom and a G record to come on.
Yeah, you
And you
fall right in.
It's like being,
can't help
it's
it.
like being shell shocked, man. But
can't help it.
But like some of the best times of my life on the road, total rock star,
Yeah.
R&B rock star moments, man.
nigga.
Like this before the the IG
Way
live
before the
and
social
the cameras
media.
and the social
Yeah.
media and the phones and just like all of that, man. Like just just memories, man.
Invaluable though. It's
Yeah.
Because that was a real school.
Yeah.
And Ginuwine wasn't a guy that hoarded the information or even the spotlight for that matter.
Yeah.
He was like, Ginuwine was like, let's get it.
That's good. Yeah.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
You get some of this.
Yeah,
you want some of this?
my first video, he pulled up.
Yeah.
Did a cameo in the video.
Yeah.
That's G.
I feel like we needed a vehicle for, I think,
he got those.
another video. He gave us a car to use. Like he just always been solid, man.
Yeah.
And I definitely, again, I'll say it. You can't talk Usher, Chris Brown. We can go down the list and not talk about G.
And I talk about
I-
G.
when I- listen, they
Justin
finally-
Timberlake,
Got to.
whoever you want.
They finally got in the same room in Atlanta and seeing Ginuwine and Chris Brown in the same room at the same time. Like I almost got emotional because of how close in spirit and animal them two guys
bro,
are,
like,
bro.
You
Like, I was like, oh my
You
God.
want to talk, we talking roses and we talking like talent, we talking dancing and we talking like entertaining and diving out in the crowd
Oh
and just
my
like,
God.
like we talking like you pull up to the hotel and
Sheesh.
they wrapped around the
They
building.
ready.
Yeah.
They ready.
They ready, baby.
there, like,
it's hella leftovers.
like out the
It's
movie.
hella
It's hella leftovers.
like you talking like R&B movie,
Yeah.
the 90s, what you see, what you would think.
There
of
has to be a movie
Ah man,
About
that's
Ginuwine.
just called
Listen, man.
Genuine.
Hey,
ain't
straight
gonna let
up,
him do
man.
it.
Like,
He
straight
not
up.
gonna-
He's gotta let him do it.
Let him do it.
Hey,
He not gonna
hey,
let him do
listen,
it.
we between the two of us,
we love you, man.
we got movie material
Yeah.
on the wine.
and we to the grave with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
What's
I mean-
overstood don't need to be.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
we gotta we're telling the movie.
Yeah. We'll save it for the
We're
movie.
saving for the movie
Come on, G, what we doing?
because he's one of one.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
So get me
about that.
from. Because you said Ginuwine pulled up to the first video. Get me to the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
album, man. Get
Yeah,
me to
so-
the first love. How do we get the deal?
So So again, I'm going back and forth. I'm working on what would be the love experience at the time, not knowing. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of the songs that I recorded with Kurt and Bob in the backwoods, made that, you know, were that was the love experience, and the other half of it was what I did in Philly. You know, like with Jeff. You know what I mean? Cliff Jones goes into Jive Records at the time for a totally different meaning, like to a whole nother artist. And he was meeting with Jimmy Manis at the time, and Dope, who eventually became my A&R. They meet. He's playing records. He plays a record that I did or demo. Don't know what the record was, and then he plays something else, and he's like, "Yo, go back to that other thing. Like, what was that?" And that kind of kept happening in the meeting. And I think Jimmy kind of like simultaneously like steps out, makes a call to DC. You know, hey, you heard anything about this kid, Raheem? And at this point, like, I'm buzzing like the pizza man at home.
Yeah.
Because you're already moving around.
Because I'm already moving around. Like, I'm moving around. Like, I'm people are already familiar with me with the open mics.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm in two groups that's like socially conscious groups. Yeah, I'm in Urban Ave 31. I'm in the Crossroads with West Felton, which is a duo group. I'm hitting this open mic. I'm up in Philly with Jeff. I'm in the backwoods with Kurt.
Wow.
You cooking.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cooking.
You're gonna make
like,
sure they see you.
Yeah, so they say, yo, we want him to come up and do a showcase. So I get a call. And mind you, this is after we've hit like every label. Like, you know, a couple of times we thought we had the deal.
Oh, y'all had already
Yeah. So
okay.
So while all this is going on, you know, every so often I'm getting a call from like Juke or Cliff, and it's like, yo, RCA want you to come meet with him and do a showcase. So we getting up, we going up, Bob, we taking the train up, we do the showcase, and they'll be like, yeah, we, you know, and then they think we like right there, and it don't happen. Right. So at this point, we think we pretty much have exhausted all the possibilities of who can call and who wants to meet.
Yeah.
And then Jive Records says they want me to come do the showcase.
So do you second guess that?
Ever? Not at all. Because again,
love that.
Like, I'm already doing shows, hour shows, 60-minute joints.
So for you, it's just another.
Yeah, it's just another thing. So it's just like,
yeah.
so it's an opportunity. So they kind of like pre-prep me like, hey, this is it. This is it don't get no bigger than this. And the people that's in the meeting at the showcase, you only gonna do like 3 tunes. That's it. I ended up performing for like 60 minutes.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Where they would just be like, "Yo, do another one.
Do
another one. You need some more."
Kicking their ass. Yeah.
And at that point they were like, "Yo, we want to do a deal with you. Like, we want to offer you a deal. We want to offer you a record deal. We want to offer you a publishing deal." I think I said something like, "All right, cool. All I'm saying is, like, you know, if y'all make 50, can I at least make 5?" Or something like that. Everybody kind of bust out laughing. And then yeah, man, like, it really, you know, it got real. Like, when you see that paperwork,
right?
And you, like, you know, you sign it, you know, that whole thing.
So you didn't have a publishing deal before that?
Nah, I ain't had a pub deal. I had
no
artists,
deals,
no nothing. So, but here's the thing. So I'm already like knowing. I'm already from being around and being a fly on the wall. And at times listening to conversations with like G and Cliff and Jerry and then, you know, Jeff had already hit me to like Jive, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
For at this time, like, they're the op, like, with you know what I'm saying? With like Jeff, you know what I mean, and Will. And so I'm already knowing. So I say to them, I say, like, yo, I think I just want the record deal.
Because the publishing company was Zamba? Yeah, it was Zamba.
I want the pub deal. They said, "Oh, if you want the record deal,
you got it.
You gonna take the pub deal because it go
hand in hand.
That's a package deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we gonna own.
They go together.
Yeah, we need to own half of that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out that, like, you know, not only did they own Zomba. They own Battery Studios where we,
Yeah.
you know, they own
Where
the
you
car
record
service
it.
that we were riding in to pick this up, and you know what I mean. So
They had a monopoly.
yeah, they had a
you would call
monopoly,
it.
and it's easy to convolute the invoices.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. You can
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you know we come from the era of like where the black car waited outside all night.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Until
Y'all,
you got in.
y'all don't know about that.
They don't know about
Yeah, with the car, you know what I mean? Till the sun come up, like the car just waiting there.
Just wait.
Or you might send the car to pick you up a piece, and then when that door opens,
That
Like
meter
that,
is
like,
never
hey, baby.
turned off.
Oh, them days. Is
Yeah,
long
you know what I mean.
gone.
So like, so I I remember us going from that to the day we land in New York, and they're like, oh yeah, just jump in that cat taxi or you know, and just send it,
And just send us the receipt.
get us a receipt.
Yeah.
It was like this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you end up doing the deal with Zomba
yeah,
and Jive.
yeah. I ended up doing a deal in 2002.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The album didn't come out to 2005. That's where you learn like, okay, you in the game, but it's levels to it.
You on the
know what I'm
sideline.
saying? You on the sideline. Now you in the building and the politics of the building.
Did you have one of them heavy budgets, or you have one of the entry deals?
No, I had a decent budget, a decent deal. You know, it was a production, but it was you know, I was signed through the production company, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying, initially, and then they bought them out, you know what I'm saying, because Jive was one of those companies that they want to have you directly.
So what'd you buy?
You know what I mean? What's the first thing I
What's
bought?
the first thing you bought off the record deal?
Man, the first thing I bought like a 96 green Camry.
A 96
And I,
green.
and I ain't tell nobody.
Oh, you just pulled up.
No, I'm saying I ain't tell nobody literally about about the deal.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Like literally besides like maybe like I think like maybe my mama knew,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or like my inner circle, but I didn't really.
Wasn't no announcement.
Yeah, it wasn't no announcements because you know at that time. That's a scary thing to get, you know, one day wake up, you sign something and, you know, you work hard for it. And then on a Monday, they say, okay, all right, boom. And then, all right, you got a bank account? You set up the account? And then it's just there. the
It
next
appears.
day. And then it appears and it's like, boop.
That thing hit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so, and I wasn't prepared for that. I don't think there's anybody, unless you come from a family, of entertainers and you know I don't think there's anything
You know who was ready for that?
and even in that sense I don't know even it's still I don't know that you can be prepared for that. But
You know who was ready for that in DC? Nexus Gold Club was ready.
yeah,
They were
What?
They were ready
I thought
for
you was about to say a certain
Nexus
artist.
Gold Club.
They were ready for my advance.
55.
They're 55.
Oh yeah, Abdul, Mark Barnes. You know what I'm saying?
They
was
were ready for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
To all the hot spots.
yeah.
They
You
were
see-
ready for my
you
money.
see that tab what you spent on bottle service in a whole year?
Woo.
Yeah, you know, these days I don't even, you know, I'm not even a drinker like that. You know what I mean? So like, but man, yeah, I mean, you know, you go through that bag hit. So from 2002 to 2005, I went through the struggles of figuring out how I was going to force their hand to put the music out.
Yeah.
Understanding the politics, understanding it ain't no friends in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's allies. You can have allies, but
But it's a business.
yeah, and it's a business. You know, I went through one selling of a company and 2 mergers.
Shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? On the sideline, watching other artists get dropped, watching other artists come through. You know, but also, I mean, I still was very excited about being on the fact like I'm on at the time. I'm on the label. Like out of all the places I could be, and I'm knowing like if they sign me at Jive Records, did they see something that there's something there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you know, there's no artist big on the planet at the time than R. Kelly or NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's cracking.
You're cooking.
It's cracking, right?
It's
You know, being the big Tribe Called Quest fan I am at the time, I'm like on the same label as Tribe. You know what I mean? We never had a conversation about it, but I know Jeff is probably like pulling his hair out. DJ Jeff, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I've showed you that, you know, how you can do this, you know, like, because Jeff has always been pro indie, independent, you know, own the master, just watch out for the traps. You know what I'm saying? And because of those conversations, I was able to go in and make sure that like my deal wasn't too crazy. You know, later on, it was why I got out of the deal so quickly.
But you understood the sacrifice.
But I understood the sacrifices had to go in, and I know in order to have some things you never done in life, you got to do some things you never done. Like what are you willing to do? Like what are you willing not to do? You know what I'm saying? So I already went into this with the mindset of what my moral compass is, my spirituality, like all the things, and knowing that like, okay, you know what, this is gonna be a social experiment. Let me make the best of it. I still have the methods of the things that work for me, and it might be, and you know what, this is gonna require me being a lot more creative and reinventing the wheel and reinventing myself in the time. And that's when I, you know, going back and forth from New York, I got hip to the G-Unit mixtapes, and
50 was going crazy,
and then the Mike Jones, and I just sat there one day and I was like, yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. And I just started taking, like, going and getting, like, I started hitting the DJs. So at the time, Many Men was popping, 50 Cent, Many Men, Missy Elliott, Pussy Don't Fail Me Now. It was like 3 clips, Hot Damn, Goddamn, and it was like whenever John. And I got the beats, and I went to Night Flight, and I did my own songs over the beats. And I would just kind of like talk my talk at the beginning. Yo, the Street Experience Volume 1, Raheem DeVaughn, and whatever, and then I would like plug.
What year is this?
Yo, this is like like 02, 03. You know what I'm saying?
Because I read it was like
I'm the
first R&B mixtape.
So I'm the first soul and R&B singer to make mixtapes. Like that's just,
when you say 2002, you absolutely are.
So we talking about Black History Month right now. Like, now I got it. Now I got it from. I'm a huge like 50 fan. Like I'm, you know what I'm saying, G-Unit.
But R&B artists wasn't doing that.
Not at all. You know what I mean? And then you know, at this point, like back in we talking 2000 to 02. Was it 99? No, not 99. It's like 96. So back in 96, you know, I'm going back and forth to Baltimore. Somebody tried to take my life. I've been shot a few times. So totally not in the streets, wrong place, wrong time, trying to be a peacemaker, that type of thing, right?
They shot you trying to be a peacemaker?
Yeah.
Shit.
So but look, but I mean, you know, you can't tell. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do the mixtapes.
Oh shit,
like
he's bulletproof Raheem.
Yeah,
I see where you going with this.
You know what I mean? So you know, being a huge fan, 50, seeing him take shit and turn it into diamonds.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You take your lowest point, you turn. What do you say? You take the lemons, turn them into lemonades. At this point, I'm like so frustrated because I'm like, yo, y'all don't hear this shit. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm doing, you know, down here in DC and da. So I jack the beats, I service them out to the DJs. Somehow or another, it gets these records get white labeled.
Oh shit!
So now they're white labeled, right? Come find out later on, Jive white labeled them, right? So
of course,
so it's catching fire. So now, you know, so now the DJs is playing. The first time I ever heard myself on the radio, it was like a beat jack. It was over somebody like and then when you know, and this is why I'm on a label while I'm waiting to hear that thing on the radio, like that single. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, I sound good on the radio. Oh, I gotta keep it. I think I just I found a way to keep myself on the radio. Yeah. Oh man, it got so crazy with the mixtapes. Like the PDs would be coming down to talk business from Jive to talk about, hey, you know, we need to get this record played at, you know, 93.9, and they'd be like, yeah, but what y'all doing Raheem though? Cause he on fire out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just like.
So it woke them up.
Yeah, you know, I would do, you know, and then I started getting crafty with it and like, hey, Face, we can do it where they be on the first verse and then I'll be on the second verse and just start.
You should just making your own remixes.
Yeah, so I'm making remixes and you know what I mean? and I'm shouting out I'm not really knowing what I'm doing, the power of it. So I'm shouting out every DJ, every promoter in the city. I'm Mark Barnes, da 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 da, and it was just became a phenomenon, man. It was a period, you know, and this is when you're talking about hand in hand, hard copy CDs still. You know, I'm still moving around, you know, so you talk about the winter with the North Face on, and we got the mixtapes with the thin jewel cases like this, but they still going for like 10, 20 in the street. Like, man, you know, it got to the point literally with the mixtape game was so crazy. And you know, and go on the record, there were always donations. Mine
wasn't donations. You know I did the same thing in the Bay. We were selling our mixtapes.
You know what I'm saying? So it was donations.
For promotional use only.
Yeah, for promotional use only. Clearly on it. You know, promotional use only. Right? And
the statute of limitations is passed, my brother.
It became such a thing that literally like no cap. Like people would literally run up on me, and I could go post up at the bar, and I leave out, you know, 300,000-400,000 that I made from this. Like, cat, yo, you got that volume 1, you got the volume 2.
Dope.
When you dropping the next mixtape, da da da. Down the road, Lionel and Trey were watching, doing the same kind of brewing and doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember one day, Lionel, this is Trey Songz's previous manager. He said, "Hey man, all that mixtape shit, we got that shit from you. We was watching you down, you know, watching y'all down. We were down in VA, watching y'all. You know what I mean? And that was dope. It's you know what I mean? Like, you know, what did Drizzy say? It's not about who does it first, is about who does it best too. And you know what I mean? And to see the phenomenon of how powerful it still is, and how effective mixtapes have become a thing that will forever exist.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because, you know, it's a great way to promote yourself. It's a great way. I never jacked a beat with the intention of like, oh, I'm trying to make the song better than the person that already did it. When you really think about it, it's a great cheat code. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's really like, hey, this is that shit right now, and
I feel like I need to be on.
Yeah, and in some cases, man, I wish I'd have thought of this.
Absolutely,
100%.
Absolutely.
You know, there's a when we beat Jack out there for sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? But like, it was always the kind of like, to pay homage or to like to kind of, and it was a way of me. It was a way of me letting like the DJ know, or like the music community know, like I'm in tune
with what's going on.
Yeah, what was going on out there too.
So how does Jive react?
Man, they couldn't do nothing. I mean, they were like, of course they react with like, oh, okay. So Guess Who Loves You More? I ended up putting it on a mixtape.
Okay.
So I started. So I would also use this as an opportunity with the tape to introduce songs. Like my first tape. If you listen to it, it's like there's a like Street Experience Volume 1 at the end. I would even like I shouted out Jasmine Sullivan, who I known for like since she was like 12, you know, young 9. You know what I mean? Her and a previous manager, like really cool. Rest in peace to her moms. They were all just like really cool. She was my label mate at one point on Jive, you know. But I would also use the platform to put people on, or like the things that I liked. So they would always kind of be like in the early mixtape game with me, there would be a portion of the tape at the end where it's just kind of like shouting out people, or if I had a friend or a record that I thought was dope, like, hey, just to let y'all know this is on the way. You know what I mean? You know, as the times changed and the legalities of things, you know, you had to be careful with that. You know, people joke and say, I've been told that I'm the reason that they don't serve as instrumentals no more. Because they stopped. Because you know, there was times that, you know, artists like literally called the radio station and be like you cut on the radio and you hear a version of your record,
I've been through that, my brother.
It's like the version, and I'm on it with you, and it's like, that ain't the version.
Funny enough, Jive tried to cease and desist me. The label you're talking about.
Yeah.
And T-Pain wouldn't let them.
Yeah.
Shout out to T-Pain.
Yeah, shout out to T-Pain.
Let a brother cook.
Shout out
Let
to
me
T-Pain.
cook.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it forced their hand is what it did.
Yeah.
It forced their hand. And
They realized they had something.
It let them know there was more eyes, you know. I remember Jack told me a long time ago, we in a business that he says, man, nobody wants to be first. Everybody wants to be second. Everybody wants to be the person that tells you, man, Tank, I told you, man, this tour was going to be amazing, man.
That's
like,
real.
you know what I mean? Because if the person that tells you, the first person that tells you, oh man, you're amazing, or this is it, and it don't stick.
They get the blame for that.
In their world, they get the blame for that.
Absolutely.
It's a numbers game. It's never about the art anyway when you talk about corporate, you know, America or corporate dollar, right? And so it forced the hand. It forced the hand. And you know, I got it so hot, I got it so popping that they had to fall suit, and you know, and they eventually gave me a release date for the Love Experience, June 28th, 28th for the 24th.
Date.
Yeah, 2005. Next year marks the 20th anniversary of the Love Experience album. Yeah, so we planning to definitely do the Love Experience tour.
That Guess Who Loves You More.
Yeah.
Jam.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Super jam.
I recorded that at the old Wu-Tang studio.
When I heard that song, I was like, he been hanging around Cliff Jones.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
for sure.
It was just like your performance. Like I could see your animation.
Yeah.
And I could see Cliff, like, I don't even know if this was even the case.
Yeah.
But I could just see him outside of the booth, like right in your, like you were, it seemed like you embodied, like, cause Cliff, like people don't know Cliff Jones, like know Cliff Jones, like we know Cliff Jones.
Yeah. The vocalist.
The vocalist Cliff Jones.
Yeah.
Absolute monster.
Yeah.
But he got certain things that he do that are signature to him. Oh, I've stolen all of them.
Yeah.
I've stolen all of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
He was dazzling.
Yeah, it was definitely to like, wasn't there when I did it, but there definitely I was in a space of at that time definitely too, because I respected their ears so much in music. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you're talking about like Cliff, Jerry, Bob, Kurt, like, yeah, I'm in there like making sure that like whatever I'm doing, like I can't wait to play it for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen to this I did last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking for that. And out of the four of them, Juke the biggest hater.
Come on,
Of
course.
Not in a sense of like he's a hater.
He's just
but
gonna,
he's going
push
he
you
going
into.
he ain't going like even like he'll you will he'll be like, yeah, that shit fire. Or you know what I'm saying, you're gonna get the same
I like it.
response, but you're gonna get an honest, like you're gonna get like an honest ear. He the one told me sing over the Ozzy brother, the Until, when I did the Until record, the Ozzy brother sample, you know, that the Cube used and a few other people used, you know what I'm saying? But like yeah, man. So it's like, you know, when you got the right ears around you, you know, even like now, like I got, it's just there's people in my circle that you know that you gotta have those ears around you that's gonna be able to be like, that ain't it, or that's ballsy, you're tapping in, you're being creative, you're pushing the envelope, you know what I mean, the creativity, man, and once the record drop, you know what I mean, like it's crazy, man. Like I said, the Love Experience will be 20 years old next year, and it's been all gas, no brakes.
Did you feel the difference, like once the Love Experience dropped, and just even like you said, you was already moving in the city,
Absolutely,
and you could feel the energy. But
absolutely, you know, it's a thing when you get off a plane and go to, like, you know, in Japan and do like a venue, say like a Yoshi's, and where there's a language barrier, you know, and to see people, you know, or you play a room, jazz cafe in London, and you just see the diversity of the room. It's very surreal. It's very humbling, and it you know, and it's rewarding, man. It's like, like you know what I mean. I definitely felt it, but it's still, again, it became like it's just yet another level.
Yeah, there's more.
Because there's more. Like there's more. You know, and it's a very competitive business though too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So then there's understanding, like, you know, what the one-off is, what the touring, you know, wanting to be on tour. There's the period of having to do the promo shows and deliver to the radio.
Yeah.
You know, where they want you to come do the radio date, where you performing for a room full of people and everybody in there might get paid except for you.
Yeah.
You know
Speak
what I mean?
on it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, there's you got to pay your taxes, man. And it's, you know, and there's no way you could jump the line. You know when you jump the line, you know how that go. You know what I mean? So if you want it and you want it right, it's no way around it. You got to, you know, and it makes you respect it. The craft makes you respect it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, put it in the works. My first tour I did, it was a promo run. Meaning like the band got paid, the tour bus got paid. You know what I mean? Like, hey, some people probably even got some people use
somebody on that promo team got
that per diem. I ain't learned about the per diem.
You didn't even get no per diem.
Look, I ain't learned how you could juke that per diem till years later. But like, point I'm trying to make is, man, I did a 30 city tour, New Edition, Brian McKnight, Gerald Levert was on some of the dates, God bless his soul.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 9 minutes to perform.
Yeah.
9 minutes with a full band. I did an entire concert in 9 minutes. I would run around. There was a part of the show where I ran around the amphitheater. 9 minutes. It was the dopest 9-minute concert that you'll ever experience. You know what I mean? And then you know, and then to look out and see like Gerald Levert at the side of the stage, and kind of watching or like take. That's when I started seeing that, or I look out and I see like Mike, you know, Michael Bivins, or, you know, some of the guys kind of like, and then Gerald started getting on him like, yeah, I better come out here and see, like, you know, see the young man do his thing. You know what I mean? That's when I realized, like, you know, definitely I was on to something, you know what I mean? You know, touring with them. I've been part of some very dope tours, you know, New Edition, Brian McKnight, Jill Scott, you know, going out with Jill in her prime. That was another major, I think, tour, you know, pivot for me. Even this lead tour, man, I think, you know, I'm at a period of my life as an artist where I feel like any move that I make, it has to be a pivot, you know? And in some cases you can make more bread not touring than touring. But touring is a very important part of the story.
Well, you're a live performer though.
Yeah.
Like it feeds a different thing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, to engage with the people, man, to have that, you know, that one-on-one, on whatever it is, like the music has life, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to be able to share that life with the people that are experiencing it on so many different levels that you could never understand until you get in the room with people and start having the conversations with them about you.
Yeah, about you and how you changed their life, how you saved their life, how they conceived their first child to this record, had that first dance. The first time that they connected with you live, and why they've attended 20 shows at this point. You know, it's a real unique cult following that I'm thankful to have. You know, that we building out, and you know, I think the most surreal part of it is the fact that, like, if you think about it, like, there's somebody that discovers Raheem DeVaughn, there's somebody that discovers Taint, there's somebody that discovers whether it's through podcasts or a song, or, you know, for the first time.
Yeah, every day.
Every day. You know what I mean? That's enough for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you never stop setting the goals, and, you know, I think we all measure success
differently.
You know what I you know what I mean?
When you were starting, did you have an ultimate goal for yourself? Or was it just I want to do music and I want the world to hear my music? Or did you have like, I'm trying to get to, this set goal, this number, or this, you know what I mean?
I definitely had goals. I think I had goals, but I did not also I had fears, and sometimes you could get, you can get in your own way. So there was a period where I thought like, I had to change my mindset. It's you know what I mean? Sometimes you can be your own dark cloud, or you thinking like, oh man, they don't fuck with me, or Tank don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? And you could be you basically speaking curses on your life.
Yeah.
On your career, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I had to, and I think early in my career I was more socially awkward. So there's people that I wanted to do things with, or wanted to reach out. Maybe they understand the dynamics of how you got to go do it. Sometimes you get no's or you get promises on things. People don't make. You're trying to figure out who's the friend, who's the foe. It's a competitive. It's very. I'm competitive. You know what I'm saying too. You want to make sure you're not measuring your success based on somebody else's blessings. You don't know what they went through to get there.
Right.
You don't know what they had. You don't know what sacrifices they made. So yeah. Early in my career, I think some of those things. I had other moments. Like right now, I'm on a moment. I'm on an incline. Yeah. I know it's going like this.
Yeah.
And I know it's forever like this. You know what I mean? But it's important to know who you are and not lose yourself in that process, right? And to be able to identify when you having that moment. And I think there definitely, I could look back on my career and be like, oh man, that was a moment. That was a potential moment that was happening, and I dropped the ball, whether it was due to a distraction of just having some real life shit going on, me focusing on juggling, co-parenting, or I just was just aloof and not in the motion. You know what I mean? I recently found out about myself that I have no, like through therapy, I have no concept of time. So I don't have a concept of time. Okay. Like, you know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Man, it just mean what it say. Like, I just don't have like a concept of it. It's like for me, it's like
it's like Jamaican.
I want to lose.
Get there when we get there.
Everything fine, man.
Everything fine.
I get there when I get there.
My food took so long
Don't
when I was in Jamaica.
Your life, man.
It's not like being late for stuff.
Yeah.
Concept of time. It's just like it's like one big, I won't say a loop, because I don't think you should be in a loop. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a loop, it's like a dog chasing its tail. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you should always be building and expanding, right, at your pace. But it's like one big movie, man. You look back. Like my oldest son is 18. You know what I mean? And he's about to go to prom. He's headed to the Air Force. Extremely proud of all my sons, but my oldest, and so you look at the time, you look at the time that you're able to spend, the sacrifices you make to get to the bag, to make sure they have the things or this life that you want to create. Not necessarily always for yourself, but I am in a space of understanding like, hey, you gotta be. I think up until a certain period in my life, and I think it was when my dad passed, right? Because we come up on the second year anniversary of his death, right? That you realize that you've been using this gift and this tool, and you've been being of service to everybody else, and not necessarily yourself. And you can get lost in the time of it.
Yeah, and time keeps going.
And time is the one thing that keeps going. It's the one thing we were running out of from the time we all,
from the day you're born.
You know what I mean? So it's like understanding that I don't have the concept of it, but then the irony of how valuable it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think it's made you more present?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely. Present in a lot of different spaces. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because losing trauma, any type of trauma, will be, whether you're talking about sexual abuse, mental health, the loss of a child or the loss of a parent, anything of that nature. There's a point where you have to make a conscious decision to keep going, like to figure out how to heal, grow, learn. You know what I mean? And so it's you take it, and it's either gonna be a pro, or a con for you. You know what I mean? You gotta figure that out, and so that's been my headspace. You know what I mean? For like the last 24 months, 72 months now. Like
Yeah. Give me for the songwriters out there.
Yeah.
Give me Customer.
Oh man, so
Give me Customer.
So shout out to Carvin, Ivan, Tight Writer, to my extended family.
Mm-hmm.
It's been some years since we've been talking about getting back into.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had a period where I was going, back and forth to Jersey a lot, working with those guys in Philly. So Customer is a record that I co-wrote, and we recorded that in Philly. And when they played the demo for me, initially it was a record I think that I was supposed to be like co-writing on, and when I heard it though, they didn't know it. I was like, oh,
This mine.
yeah, oh, this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need this. Like I just knew what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So it went on to be. I'm probably the only person that got an R. Kelly feature that never had to pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like he went and got on the record.
Hey, listen, because Kels was taxing.
Look. He went and got on the record.
Costs.
And not only did he get on the record, if you listen very carefully to the end of the record, he promotes his project coming up at the time.
Huh.
It's like a mixtape vibe.
Yeah.
So that was a beat jack. That was him pulling the me on me.
Yeah.
That's why he said,
Yeah.
"Could you remind me of something I would do, young man?"
Hey.
Yeah, he pulled a.
This sound like one of my damn records.
He pulled a me on me. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that was the biggest.
That's the ultimate.
That was the ultimate. At that time, we talking to music, right?
Mm-hmm. You already know where.
Yeah,
Yes,
like you can't. You know what I mean? I remember the day that happened. You know what I'm saying? And I was torn between it because of the other things that were going on at the time with him and the press and stuff. But it's like, and at that point when I didn't hear it till it hit the radio. It was like on the radio. Like it was like I'm at a Rockport video.
Oh, you didn't hear the song?
No, I was at the Rockport video shoot, and I had reached out. There's a couple of people we had reached out to at that time because we were trying to remix the record because the record had went top 10 at Urban Radio. So we're like, man, who can we get to get on the record? Like, at that time, the remix is like a big thing. So some people I reached out to, they declined, right? Some of the names that we were tossing around at that time, I think was like Jay Holiday, who was on fire.
Mm-hmm. Jay was on fire.
The Dream.
Yeah.
We would talk. We reached out to. I think we reached out to Music Soul Child's Camp. We reached out to Trey though, Trey Songz, and Trey was the only one who sent the verse back. Like Trey sent the verse back on some like, here go a verse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about no money, nothing. He just sent the verse back. I'm like, oh man, this dope. I'm listening to the verse. We at the Rockport joint. They like, yo, the phone start going. Cut on BLS. Put on BLS. R. Kelly Customer remix.
No
Shit.
way.
Yeah.
As you're listening,
to
your Trey verse that just came through.
So now I know like they ain't going. At that point, it's like
you gotta pick one.
You got to pick one.
But it's already been picked
because
it's out.
Already been picked.
He picked it for you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we ran into each other like after that, you know what I'm saying? Like Trey, I remember we ran into each other. We was on the West Coast. I think it was like in Oakland or San Francisco, man. We ended up having an after party together, and he like gave me my roses and just like, you know, we chopped it up. And that's probably one of the last times I seen him. Like, you know what I mean? He's went on to do his thing. But yeah, man.
He was understanding.
But it was like, yo, man, he kept it 100 and just like, it sent it right away. You know what I mean? It was cool, you know. But yeah, that was, you know, customer, man. It's like, you know, I'm thankful for that record. I think for this decade, my Don't Come Easy is my this decade's customer. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like what the record has done and you know, the success of it. Record was like #1 in like Dallas for like three years or something. Like
for 3 years.
Yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, you know, so yeah, it's one of those things that we be thankful for, you know. It's like if you can get you one of those in a lifetime,
but if you can get forever.
Yeah, but if you can get 5 of those or 10 of those, you know, I think that's the beauty. I don't think we chase that as artists. But we know that we deserve it, and we push ourselves, and in hopes that, you know what I mean, you go in there, you just don't know what's gonna come
continue
out.
to build on the catalog.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I go in there, I never know what's gonna come out. But I go in there knowing that something great is gonna come out. You know, like, don't know what it's gonna be. You know, a lot of times. And it's the art of, it's the excitement of not knowing for me. When it comes to like the creating part of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that your uniqueness as an artist is another thing that has its own unique way of propelling you or sustaining you in a sense. Because singles are one part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, people really love your projects.
People love your projects.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People,
Yeah.
and again, back to that live performance.
Yeah.
People love coming to see you perform live. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
Yeah. For me, you know where that come from? I'll be honest with you. It come from like, it was something about a vibe when you put the Jodeci album on.
Talk to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm you know what I'm saying? Like you put the you like where they had this thing where if it was 12 songs, right? For the first 5 or 6, it was just a vibe.
It was a movie.
And the interludes.
It was
Yeah,
a
and then the interludes.
slow together.
Like,
It was a movie.
So my biggest fear is like I just want, you know, I want somebody to just, I want them to be able to vibe to the thing. I want, you know, we are providing an ambiance.
Ambiance.
A vibe, a vibe for let's say, you know, you think about the worst case scenario, the best case scenario things, like a whole child might be conceived.
Absolutely.
A whole
A full baby.
You've done your job.
Yeah.
You've done your job.
Like, you know what I mean?
Them first 7 in a row.
Yeah.
The first 7 in a
Give you
row.
enough time to do what needs to be done.
You might drop the one knee. You know what I mean? And ask for hand in marriage. You know what I mean? Like your first kiss. You know what I mean? You know, so we're providing the soundtrack. We're providing, you know, y'all ought to be paying me. Y'all ought to be paying us more for what we do. No, we you know, we create a vibe, man. Like,
We create life.
We create life
in every sense of the
Yeah,
word,
and
because all of this music, as we go back to Jodeci, as we go back to Babyface, as we go back to Brian McKnight, as we go back to R. Kelly, I can think of a song, New Edition. I can think of a song from every one of those artists, and I can think of exactly where I was and exactly what I was doing and who I was with.
Yeah.
And for us to be in a space where we're now doing the same thing, we got to understand how important that is.
There's a level of responsibility that just comes with that and being an artist. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, when we are in an era where everybody feels like they can be an artist, you know what I mean? And there'll be moments that separate the men from the boys, you know what I'm saying? But like,
100%.
like man, I just pride my and at the end of the day, I just love it. I still love what I do. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, there's a period I feel like I fell out of love with it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't the art part of it. It was the part of having to understand the business part of it, or having to like man up and know like, hey man, if you don't handle your business in this place and in this space, you know what I mean?
It'll handle you.
Yeah, it'll handle you. This is what happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the money ain't gonna keep, it might not be coming in forever the way it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta put something up for a rainy day, or understand like, what type of life insurance policy to get. You know what I mean? And to be your own banking system and these and credit line. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So like, you know better. You do better, but you constantly, you're growing. You know what I mean? You're growing, and I feel like for us as artists, there should never have to be a ceiling on what we do.
Shouldn't be a ceiling.
Agreed.
It shouldn't
It
be
should
an
be,
age. It shouldn't be.
And I think that's the beauty of the era where we in right now. What you look like, how old you are now, don't matter.
It's crazy because it's like there are cons in this space that we're in, but there's also beauty in this space that we're in.
It's the end.
Like, as long as you're willing to get to it.
Yeah. It's only two hefes left in this business in terms of distributors, and they both owned by the same holding company. Right? So you as an artist can be in a space where while the music business is downsizing and going like this, you can be going like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I recently teamed up with Even.biz to put out my Winter in Love project.
Yeah.
Because I'm
shout out to Mag.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
So Mag and it's an amazing platform. I feel like it's the perfect disruptor for the culture. We having these conversations about the 0.03% and what we get paid on the streams. And what Even and Mag is doing is a perfect example of how we can take back control and ownership of our greatest intellectual property. You know what I'm saying? Being our music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because I'm putting out like four projects or more a year at this point. You know what I mean? So
you servicing your audience.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're servicing your audience and your super fan.
No doubt.
That's like the new thing. Everybody's, my super fan. But no, that's a very real thing.
It's a real thing.
As an artist, independent or on a major label, you should pay attention to. You should pay attention to who pays attention to you.
No doubt.
To everything you drop, to everything that you release. They're there for you.
So I'm watching artists like La Russell. You know what I mean?
Young boy out of the Bay.
Like in particular, like, you know what I mean, who like, and I've always, it's kind of like for me, I'm in a space like history repeating itself again. Because it's like the new version of what I'm doing is like the old version of when I was doing the mixtapes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I don't feel the pressure of having to put things out. I just understand like we in a different time, we're in a different space. It's a microwave world. People just want more and more and more, and I just want, and I'm just make sure I'm very calculated in how I service it out. We as the artists should benefit from it the most.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, in the short time period of time that I've been doing business with, with Even.biz, and I'm not saying I'm anti streams, because shout out to United Masters too. You know what I'm saying? But the conversations are happening, and to have a platform that I can utilize, with the cult following fan, the super fan, the new person that just discovered me 2 days ago at the Lettucey concert, right? To have that direct access from from artist to consumer to the buyer.
Yes.
Man, nothing beats that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the equivalent of like going from 0.3% to $1, $25, $2.
And you should be able to do business where you want to do business.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of, if people have different platforms, you should be able to explore all of them.
And you'll figure out which one works best for you. You know what I'm saying? That's the everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, some people are Facebook community type of influencers. You know, for some people, Spotify works better. For some people, it's the TikTok. You know what I mean? So you have to figure out like where your community engagement is and you know and maximize it for what that works. You know, that works good for you.
That's great.
Yeah.
That because I'm like watching all these subscription kind of things start to play out. You know what I'm saying? Which again is a super fan kind of
and the thing
kind of moment.
Here's and you know we talked about this off the grid yesterday. Like my thing about the subscription base option is that you end up, you know, you pay they pay this $20 fee a month, and then you doing all this work. You know what I mean? Like you're doing all this work. I feel like, you know, I'm old school, so I still believe in the concept that, like, you know, people love what you do, then they'll pay for it. It's that simple.
It's kind of the same thing, right? Because if it's whether it's a subscription or it's a one-time buy, right? What happens is that now as we start talking about time, now we just manage the time differently when it becomes a subscription versus when it's a one-time buy. So if it's a subscription, then you have to try and figure out how to keep the engagement of that subscription over that time. So like even what you're doing with your EPs, like when you're dropping a 4 or a 5, then another 5, and then another 5.
Yeah.
But if we're talking subscription, we're like, okay, like the way he's doing this project right now is perfect for subscription, where it's like every last Friday of the month is a song and video.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Word.
And in between that, there's work in between. Like I'm like, let's take for me, for instance, I'm working out like something crazy. So now here's these exclusive pieces of me working out. There's these exclusive pieces of me even building the song that we're going into that now feeds the subscription, but you're not overworking.
Here's my thing on it though. I think it would work better for me if we was getting like, if we're doing subscription base and then I'm dropping like a project and I'm getting like $2-3 a stream. It's a different conversation. Like the consumer doesn't know from the outside looking in. You're paying for the gas money to get to the studio. If you got the studio at the crib, you got an electric bill.
Well, no, I'm
you
not.
Got to mix and master the records.
Saying is that not. I'm saying this. I'm with you on it being exclusive in that space.
Yeah.
It don't go to the streaming.
Yeah.
The subscription is merely in your space.
Got you. Yeah.
It don't go to no. Fuck that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that you're doing right now.
It just for me, because it's like, you know, it's like having you got the Netflix account, then you got the Hulu account, you got this account, you got that. You know what I mean? Like ultimately, I don't know, man.
Do you feel like it takes away a little bit though from discovery if you keep it away from streams? If you keep it away from streaming platforms?
No, because I have my methods for ways of promoting. You know what I mean? Using the streaming platforms to drive the traffic. To drive the traffic to even. You know what I mean? Or to drive the traffic. Like I got a blend of the project that's with ads running on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for my older audience who might not get it, they hearing the command, hey, if you like this, go to even.biz right now. They might not understand the command. Guess what they're gonna do? Slide in the DM and say, hey, where can I get this song?
Where can I get this? Yeah.
Oh, right here, boop.
Yeah.
And it's you know what I mean? So it's really, you know, all of these things we trapping off the iPhone.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Or the Android, you know what I mean? Which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
You know, but again, it's just finding like what works for me, you know what I mean? And like for me, like with even like it was just like the perfect I got it immediately, like yo.
And
That's
it
the most
services
important thing.
your workload. It services
for sure.
Your program and how you put your shit together.
You know what I mean? And you know, and it's a thing where I'm building out a community, you know, where I'm doing like side artist deals and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Rob Brown, phenomenal poet. We just dropped her project on this past Monday on Even, you know, exclusively. So
what's the name of her project?
So she's the first poet to to be, streamed and, exclusively on the platform. Ra's project is There's No Place Like Knowing.
There's no place like
No
knowing.
place like knowing.
I
Yeah.
think I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying that right.
It sounds dope.
I ain't got my iPhone, but Rob Brown. Shout out to Rob Brown.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing a series of like Raheem DeVaughn present stuff.
Absolutely,
And we can still and there's still a way to use. You can use even as a early release platform and then double back and
because that's like I was saying that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
That you use the word and you're falling in line to community.
And anything that's going to spark the conversations about, hey, we deserve to be paid more.
Yeah.
For the streams.
Yeah.
Like, it's a perfect disruptor.
I think
it's a great conversation to be having.
In a perfect world, everyone would just say, pull our music until we get it right. In a perfect world.
Yeah. And
but all these major deals have already
it may I may be going that route soon.
Yeah.
Like I ain't gonna hold you, like, cause it's something that I want right now that I'm looking to acquire, and I'm determined to get it. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So like, but again, man, we deserve it. It's ours. What we didn't, the business of what we didn't understand, or that we were being part of or being brought into, when you know better, you do better, and it's now about it's about ownership.
Yeah,
it's about owning, but it's also about being able to you can own it, but if you're not monetizing it properly, yeah. So it's about ownership and then monetizing it and figuring out. And figuring out the information and passing it down.
Yeah. You went into something earlier and speaking about, just your organizations, your philanthropy that you, especially dealing with pops and stuff like that. So if you don't mind for the people, just to get into, some of your organizations that you've created and nonprofits
and where they can
things.
Find it.
Yeah, for sure. So the first thing I want to do is give a big shout out to Gilead Sciences, who's my partner in the community, for this leg of the tour that I just did with Lettucey, the Good Life Tour. Gilead is investing over $12 million in the community to break down stigmas and bring more awareness to the community, to the black community, and to the world about how AIDS and HIV is affecting Black women and girls. So they spend that money in grants, programming, connecting with artists like myself. It's a very important thing. Black women make up for 14% of the population, but more than half of the new cases amongst women.
Wow.
In the U.S. And the demo that's being kind of like affected the most, you're talking about anywhere between like the age of 15 to like 28.
Wow.
We've been doing part as an extension of my brand, and then my foundation, the Love Life Foundation, which is based out of DC. We've been doing these town hall women empowerment meetings along, with the tour, meeting with different mayors in different cities. We just did one in Birmingham, Alabama. Just kind of give you like the statistics. For example, like 60% of the high school kids are already sexually active in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? There's not conversations about condoms and different things, prevention, PrEP, different things that you can take now to prevent HIV and AIDS. You know what I mean? So, during our generation, right, and our parents, we came up in a time where we saw the messaging, we saw it on the billboards, we saw it in the commercials.
Yeah, it's kind of gone away.
Yeah, and it's like, and then with the, with living in a world of COVID and things like that, which kind of seem like taking more precedence. You know what I mean? We're losing the it's still out there though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Running rampant,
so.
and you know what I mean. So, and that's just one of the many issues that we support and just combat with the Love Life Foundation. We do Queen for a Day spa takeovers. We're gonna be doing King for a Day spa takeovers as well, where we build with community on the ground. It started out doing Queen for a Day spot takeovers in support of women who are transitioning out of severe domestic violence situations. You know what I mean? At the time when I started the Love Life Foundation and we made domestic violence one of our major initiatives that we wanted focal points, PG County, I want to say it was Bowie, Maryland at the time, had the largest amount of phone calls for domestic violence in the entire country at the time. So it was kind of like, you know, the stories you hear about, I can't remember the sisters' name. There have been a few women in our area who've, you know, been set on fire, had acid thrown on them, you know, that type of thing, in domestic violence situations. So that was just something I just heard that and was like, what? Like right here in our own backyard, you know. And I have been called. I've been called out early in my career for a lot of different things in the city, and I show up. But I created the foundation to be able to support the things I want to be able to support directly.
Yeah.
You know, raise the money, create the change. You know, be the change you want to be. You know, building with community. And right now, DC's on fire, man. Like it's just shout out to my man Philippe, you know, Feel the Future. We just buried him on the 13th of April, you know. And it's a lot of robberies. It's a lot of carjacking is up like crazy in the city. Like you got you know, there was just a special on CNN about the youth in the city who missing, you know, over 100 days of school, you know. It's just a lot going on, you know, and no matter what you're going through, how frustrated it is, you can't give up on the babies, you can't give up on the youngins. Like, you know, we get older and I got to think about my surroundings and where I want to be. And like, when I feel like I got to, you know, if I'm in the city and I got to look over my shoulder and ride with it, it ain't a good feeling. You know what I mean? And I'll continue to do the work, you know, but I got a love-hate relationship with home right now. Cause I feel pain when I see how the youngins moving, but I also know that there's a disconnect, and you know, between the gentrification, between the food deserts that they've had, you know, on the South Side, you know, where we've been part of, you know, food banks and stuff of that nature before. A lot of stuff getting cut because of COVID and just all these things, man. It's a lot of people, you know, the inflation. Even people coming out to our shows, I understand that like it's a luxury to come out and see Raheem DeVaughn, see Tank. Like, you know, some of these people, they're gonna come to one or two shows, or it's just one show for the year.
Yeah, that's all they got.
Yeah, and that's all they got.
That's all they got.
You know what I mean? So, again, whether you're talking, you know, the partnership with Gilead, or you're talking about the Love Life Foundation and you know, fighting domestic violence, or you know, addressing the food deserts that are in the city, or you know, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 60% of the households are like Black households, are ran by women right now. That's something that I learned, you know, while on this tour, you know, having these town hall meetings. Definitely, that's definitely what it is in Birmingham, Alabama. You know what I mean? And it may be, I don't want to be misquoted, you know what I mean, but it may be for the entire country. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to do my part, man. Yeah. You know, yeah, do my part. I love our people. I love community. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, I think what we do as musicians and with music, it can be, you know, I call it edutainment. You know, it's a thin line too. When you make, you know, when you think about the artists like Marvin Gaye, you know, Bob Marley, Curtis Mayfield, and Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, an artist that can straddle the line and knows how to entertain you, but also touch on those social issues.
Yeah, the message in the music.
It makes the message in the music, but also where the record don't just, it's not corny.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's a
tough job.
It's a tough job.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
It's a tough job, you know?
To make social awareness cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember I don't know if it was on your podcast, but man, you was telling me like it was. Just in terms of you know what we up against, man.
Yeah.
You know? We've been in this a long time. So you know, we do it through changing. You do it through changing through the technology, right? Ownership is important. Financial literacy is something I was a late bloomer on. I'm learning in real time and understanding investing and understanding that everything in this room was an idea that needed funding.
Funding.
It needed funding. You know what I mean? It needed a cap table. You know what I mean? So I'm just like understanding those things, man. You know?
You got Allen wrench.
Yeah. Because you can't have the change of the movement without the dollars.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay, my brother.
What you got over there, man?
Listen, man, Raheem is here, man. So, I had to,
he got the information.
I had to get to this piano because
the piano.
Brother Raheem. You've been privy to a lot of great music as you are from the soil.
Yes, indeed.
You've written some of your own great music, but now we want to talk about the music that has inspired the divine.
Yeah.
The people want to know.
What they want to know?
What the people want to know?
The people want to see. People need your top 5.
That's what we doing right now.
Your top 5.
That's what we doing right now.
That's where we at.
Top 5.
Come on, sing this.
Your top 5.
That's what we doing.
R&B Singers.
Yeah. What else?
R&B Songs.
Come on.
We wanna know. You got to show from West Africa. We're gonna hear your top 5. Yes. Roar. Yes. Yeah. Top 5. Your top 5.
And this is your top 5 moment with the Love King of Soul and R&B, Raheem DeVaughn. Dylan. No,
Raheem.
yes.
Your top 5 R&B singers.
Oh man, I'm gonna put in no particular order.
No order.
Yeah, no particular order.
Dead or alive, your world.
I'm gonna put Aretha Franklin on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better. You better.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Aretha Franklin on there. I'm gonna put Mike on there.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not? All 4 voices.
Yeah. I'm putting Mike on there for a couple of reasons. I'm gonna put a wild card in. I'm gonna put Bob Marley on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Bob Marley on there.
Infectious vocal.
Man, that's 3, right?
Yeah.
Damn. I didn't realize how hard this was.
that's
until
easy. He's like, I got it.
other episodes was like
I'll run it off
like
when I
once you-
get there.
Once you're in the hot seat,
It's different.
it's different when you're in the hot seat. I mean, these are my top 5.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I gotta put Prince on there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I got and then I gotta put Marvin.
I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
was,
those
I
would
was
be,
waiting for you to say Marv.
Yeah, and you know, it's personal
Yeah, 100%.
reasons. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Your top five.
My honorable mention.
Okay. Come
Not to
on.
cut you off.
Top
I mean,
5, 7.
I mean, I gotta do, you know, Stevie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna stop there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'ma stop there.
Okay. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Now, if we talking entertainers and just the other
No,
things,
we're gonna get to
you know,
that. Yeah, that's different.
That'd be
Your
different.
top 5 R&B songs.
Top 5 R&B songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go with "Blame It on the Sun" by Stevie
Mm-hmm.
Wonder. "What's Going On" by Marvin Gaye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that counts as R&B.
It counts.
I'm
It counts.
gonna go with "Let's Fall in Love" by the Ozzy Brothers, which I just remade.
Yeah.
That's top 15 right now. Top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Tank,
speak
get out
on
the
it.
way. He in the way.
He's always in the way.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
it's
gotta
always in
be.
the way.
We gotta be. It's a DMV thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? All right, so those are what
That's
that,
3.
That's
That's
3.
3,
What was
yeah.
my 3 just now? It's just like I used to smoke a lot of weed back in the day. I used to be a pie.
Blame It on the
Stevie
Sun.
Wonder.
Yeah,
Blame It on the
it's
Sun.
Blame It on the Sun.
What's going on?
What's going
What's
on,
going
Marvin?
on, Marvin Gaye? What was my-
Isley Brothers.
Isley
the
Brothers.
Ozzy Brothers. We Are the World.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fire.
You're the first person to name We Are the World.
Wow.
Yeah, We Are the World.
Yeah. And it
Big
deserves.
tune.
Yeah.
We Are the World.
I mean, the greatest selling song
Man,
of all time.
times. Big
If you
tune.
really, you know,
Yeah, We Are the
when we
World.
technical.
And the Commodore Zoom.
Yeah, the Commodore.
Going there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta go there.
Right there.
And I'm so mad because I want to say like
Come on, say something else.
I
Give us a-
got like Switch Records.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
you making
know-
him happy when you
Oh,
say
I
that.
got
Come on, Bobby.
I got Switch Records.
Bobby the Bud.
I got Spinners. I got the Spinners.
Mm.
What's the lead singer from the Spinners?
Yeah, we talking about Cadillac music now.
he was like a finisher. I feel like Rob studied him a lot. The lead singer from the Spinners, not from the Spinners, because the Spinners was is it Spinners? Was a Mighty Love. What's the lead singer on the Spinners, man? I can't. It won't come to me right
Somebody
now.
in the comments.
But there was a documentary on him and the Spinners. But he's the finisher, man. He's the finisher of records. I mean, I think, those
Bobby
are,
Smith?
huh? It was say again?
Bobby Steele Smith?
Yeah, was it Bobby? Maybe Bobby Smith. Maybe.
Principal lead singer?
Yeah, for the Spinners.
For the Spinners?
Yeah.
Googles.
But I think we're in an era now. It's kind of hard to determine who's who, because things are like sonically a lot the same.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about the newer R&B.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The vibe. Whereas
No, the auto tune is like the BBL. It's the vocal BBL.
nah, you know what I'm saying? And but there was an era, where artists would just
Sound
it was
like-
very distinctive.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
them.
Like
There was a time where
Like, you
women
wasn't
all
gonna
looked
catch- you
like
was- you
a
wasn't
different
gonna-
woman.
you wasn't gonna catch Rick James sounding like Prince. You know what I'm saying?
And
like
if you
the-
call
like
Prince
the-
sounding
like
like Rick James,
like-
Rick
like-
James is gonna pull up on
Like,
him.
yeah. Like the closest thing that they may have in common is the Hills or the You know what I'm saying?
Niggas was pulling
the
up on
eclecticness
niggas
of the
back
dressing.
in the day.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I know
Like,
you stole that from me.
Hey, nigga.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
stop stepping on my toes.
'Cause
Nigga.
you
I heard
ain't
Jill verse.
got it.
Yeah.
Stop stepping on my toes, nigga.
yeah. Gerald was cold.
We got to
man.
get back to that.
Yeah.
I seen Gerald, rest his soul. Gerald, we was like at an amphitheater, and Gerald used to have them teddy bears, so he get those teddy bears out, and Gerald went from one end to the stage and he rolled.
What you mean, bro?
Like rolled.
Like he was on fire?
Like rolled. Like
It's on fire.
That's they tell you.
yeah,
in
like
class.
he was on fire. Like
Like
rolled.
rolled.
Like from one end to the stage.
What?
And
But still
man,
singing.
Singing the whole
still
time.
Singing the whole time, bro.
I will
Like,
be rolling on the R&B
Crazy.
Money Tour
crazy.
in honor of the big homie.
Crazy, bro.
Got to roll.
Yeah, he was the one, not the two, man, for sure.
Let's build your Voltron, your super R&B artist.
Okay.
We want to know who you're going to get the vocal from, the performance style, the styling, the passion of the artist, and since you are a songwriter, who's going to write for this artist? Who you going to get the one vocal from to build your super R&B artist?
In terms of like,
Who's your
You're
lead singer?
building a super artist.
who's gonna be my lead singer?
What voice you steal in the building?
I'ma still shit, man. You asked all the other people this.
Same thing. Yep.
God damn it. Whose voice I'm still in to do with?
Build it. You build
To
it.
build it. Shit, let's live out the box. I'm gonna take Sade's voice.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
not no box.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you know,
Yeah.
That's
yeah, let's do Sade.
international.
Let's do Sade.
You want to heal somebody?
Yeah,
Huh?
let's do Sade.
Huh? You talk about a vibe
That's
Yeah.
it.
before it was even called a vibe. We didn't even know what to call Sade.
Yeah,
It's just an angel or something.
yeah. So let's do Sade.
Okay.
Performance style on stage.
Performance style on stage.
Mhm.
Who gonna entertain the people?
Damn, performance style on stage.
Oh yeah.
Let's do Prince.
Okay. Sade's voice. Prince performance. So it's gonna play.
Listen, because Prince set the vibe.
Yeah,
A lot of different vibes though. Like
He said-
he
all
gonna
the
set the
vibes.
vibe
But
with.
he's gonna take you on a journey.
Yeah,
journey.
he gonna make you want to play patty cake.
Man,
He gonna you know what I'm saying? He gonna make you want to touch yourself.
All
he gonna
of
make you
it.
want to. Yeah, he gonna but he's gonna also he gonna give you moments. He gonna give you tear jerking moments where you want to
Yes.
cry.
Yes.
You gonna connect with God up in there.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Unlimited.
Yeah, he's gonna give you moments that you appreciate the instrumentation and there's no vocals.
Yeah, he gonna give you rock and roll.
Bro,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I would say
Styling.
styling.
Yeah.
I would say Bria Stinson, who is good. My people's, if you know,
Oh, you
know.
pulled out a real stylist.
Yeah, Brie. Yeah, she made this leather piece right here.
Yeah. Shout out to Bria Stinson.
Shout out to Bria Stinson.
yeah.
You said you was gonna hook me up with that connection.
I got
so
you
don't
on
forget
that
about
too.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So B, you know what I'm saying? So I would say, she came up under like Tamika Foster.
My
you know what I'm saying?
dog.
Yeah. So shout out to Tamika as well. You know what I mean? So like, I would think, she would
Have her taking care of the style.
Yeah, have her taking care of the style. She gonna have a band. She gonna have the artist looking
I like it.
like, from you name it, from Usher to Lizzo to whoever. Like she killing it, and she's a black owned business. So shout out to Bria. To Bria, hey, look,
Yeah, Bree, we might have to get you.
yeah,
Have to get you on the
need a
podcast,
piece.
Bree.
Yeah, I need a piece, Bria.
We need you in here, Bree.
Yeah, all right.
The passion of the artist, heart of the artist. Who mean it?
The passion of the artist. Does it have to be an R&B artist?
No, it could
No.
be whoever you want.
It could be okay. So the
You putting together
passion
your
of the
Voltron.
artist-
Mm-hmm.
Shit, the passion of the artist. Like you just want to believe them, and you just know what you know.
Yeah.
No.
Fantasia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shoes.
Fantasia.
No shit.
No shoes.
Fantasia.
Kick them off.
Fantasia.
Run across the stage, sweat the hair out,
Fantasia.
and hit every note while you doing
Let's
it.
go crazy.
Yeah.
Legendary.
She get on my nerves.
Fantasia.
She's so cold.
Yeah.
And who's writing for this artist?
Who's writing for the artist?
Mm-hmm.
Leon Ware.
You gonna write this, Leon?
Drops mic. Woo! The Sensual Minister.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
He said the
Forever with us.
Minister.
The Sensual Minister, Leon Ware. I spent the whole day with him at his crib.
Did y'all write together?
Nah, we smoked a lot of weed. We were on the water. Down, he had a little condo by the marina.
Yeah.
He had the studio right there. We were literally his wife was in the kitchen, whatever. We're literally in their bedroom. The bed's right there. The California king size right there, and the studio's right there.
Oh, he go right from it.
And he got the video.
Yeah.
He had the video. He had the, and then he's right on the water. So the water's right there. And I went to go at the time I went to go get his blessing on a remake that I did of I Want You, which he originally wrote and produced that record, and Kenny Dope, we did a house version of it. So I went to go. He requested, he wanted me to come kick it with, he wanted to meet me. And I used it as an opportunity to I surprise him and play the record, the house joint. He played records. We talked about Marvin and just what it was like making those albums, and it was a dope day. And at the time, my record Marathon and Desire, which was on the Love Behind the Melody album, hadn't been released yet, and I played those records for him, and he's just tickle pink, and I played the records, and just soaked up a lot of game, but his pen is crazy, the discography of Leon Ware, Come Inside My Love.
Oh no, he was writing jams.
He had the jams, bro.
Yeah.
Maxwell something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say Leon Ware, like the pen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You are the first and only.
Yeah.
I better learn who Leon Ware is.
Yeah.
What you got over there, champ? Yeah, it's that time.
I ain't saying no names.
Hey!
I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying no names. Who you was, who you was with, what you did. No say she.
No names.
I ain't saying no names.
I think you gotta make a go-go version.
I ain't saying no name.
You hear me? I think you gotta make a go-go version of that song too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We got Tank up in here. I say what now?
Come on.
I ain't saying no names.
Hold it now.
Hold it now.
I ain't saying no names. What you gotta do is say no names.
That's outside of here. Say what now?
Say no names.
Shout out to Big G from BYB.
The go-go version, man. I'm listening. I'm here with my brothers from the DMV, man. I had to request it.
Shout out to
have
White
no
Boy from
idea
Red
where-
Essence and say what now?
I was about to start singing "Sexy Ladies" out of
Yes,
out
indeed.
of the right corner.
We're going to dedicate this song to sexy ladies out there. Yes, indeed. That's that old school
Put it
talking
in
voice.
pocket.
I said, hold it down.
We gotta do what? We gotta do what?
Yeah,
You know I got a go-go band.
Huh? No.
I got a go-go band. Like
How many groups?
I got a go-go band.
You've been in more groups than Johnny
I
Gill,
feel
man.
no cap. I got a go-go band. We call it the Crank Crusaders. We do shows when I'm off the, when I'm at the
Crank
crib.
Crusaders.
The Crank Crusaders.
I know you're cooking too.
Hey, man, we be cooking,
Bob
bro.
just sent me some joints from Backyard to do too.
Yeah, nah, that's the move. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm
Nah, I
about to.
love that.
Got the
I
cooking
love
cook.
that.
Okay, get him right. Get him right.
So yeah. We very important segment of the show.
Oh, okay, I lay it on me.
I ain't saying no names. Will you tell us a story, funny or fucked up, or funny and fucked up, throughout your travels in this thing, man, and in all your 57 groups that you done been in?
I ain't saying no names.
Oh, he couldn't write to it.
But I could have been on. I was baited to be on one of the largest reality shows.
Baited.
To play someone's boyfriend.
Okay.
And the woman that I was dating at the time, that I'm not saying her name, that everybody on the planet knows, was like, what? You was not finna go do that? Like, you ain't going to do that reality show? Like, that ain't happening.
So you thought about doing the show, though?
You know what?
It's like
I never considered doing the reality show. It was the thought of what it would give me access
visibility.
to. Visibility. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's always a challenge, right? And as bad as I am doing there's some television and things happening, films. You know, I've done a few movies and stuff like that, right? But it ain't about, you know, typically when you do reality TV, it's for one of three reasons. It's for the visibility, of course. If it's something involving dating, it's because you actually looking to publicly date and you want to be part of that machine, right? And it's for money. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know, money I never made a decision based upon like money. Like that's, you know, when you make a decision based upon the bag, you might make some of the worst decisions of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just saying like, you know, about the money, right? And then, you know, I've always just been like, I think because of being a parent, you know, so I've been conscientious about just how I want to be perceived and just like have a conversation, you know what I'm saying, with my son. But you know, anything that's compromising in that space. And then more importantly though, like, you know, I know what I want to be. And in every other aspect of my career, I'm in control. Like I'm my own boss, you know what I'm saying? Own my masters, you know.
You don't own your masters in no reality
yeah,
show.
You're right. You know what I mean?
Definitely don't own the masters to the
They're
show.
gonna cook them masters up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then I still understand the culture of like the mystique of you know, there's an art to being accessible but not accessible. That comes with, you know, with what we do in social media. And it's crazy because people can just like, you know, it's this concept of like, oh, I follow you, I like your picture, and then somebody run up on you and be like, yo, hey, you remember me? Or like, hey, I'm your friend, or whatever. And it's not that that's not the case, right? But, you know, a lot of what we do and see is the perception of the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? You know, at the end of the day, we just all human trying to exist. And but we also like being a public figure is a different thing, you know what I'm saying? You gotta think it out, you know what I'm saying? I just try to think out the worst case and best case scenario and everything. So, you know what I'm saying? Not knocking nobody who's done one or you know, you got, you know, do the, just how we talk about using, you know, the DSPs to the, you know, smarter or wiser, you know, algorithm wise or what platform works best for us musically. You know, we have to, that applies to, you know, television and the decisions that I'm going to make that, like, especially if you're going like this, because you make the wrong move and then you looking crazy.
It all come crashing down.
Yeah, it all come crashing down. You know what I mean? So,
we've been there, my brother.
Shout out to her and them and all the names we never mentioned.
Yeah.
Touch yourself.
With my brother Raheem DeVaughn.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. You know, I've always looked at you as a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
As a family member, more so because it's like we literally walked damn near the same
walk
path,
and journey,
same
man.
walk and journey. And I think you were smarter early on in your journey than I was, like the way you were able to utilize things and create the mixtapes and things like that. Like I commend you for that, brother. Like you really took control of that thing in a way that I had no concept about early in the game. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we come from that terrain and we come from that place, man, where you know, it's like you said, it's like a love-hate relationship, you know what I'm saying, depending on how you can view it. And as a brother from that place with you, I love you, brother.
Thank you, man.
And I
appreciate you. I love you too, man. And I thank you for that.
I want nothing but the best for you. And at some point, you know what I'm saying, we got to figure out how to, this is the first step into people seeing us together.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And now I think the city needs to see more of that.
Oh no, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? And here
we get in that dojo and put some things together.
Yeah.
But also do some touring and
man. Like they deserve that, man. And we done worked hard enough, man, in between the both of us, man, to put something cool together, man,
for sure.
and make something shake, man.
For sure.
So, you know, I think
gotta
something
get the
cool
people what they want.
Get the people what they want, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tank.
I'm J Valentine.
And this is the R&B Money Podcast, the authority on all things R&B. And this has been him, man. This has been my brother from another mother, man. This is one of DMV's finest of all times, Raheem DeVaughn, baby.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
R&B money.